Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at the expansion to Kanagawa. This is Yokai. In this little box, you are going to get 3 new sets of cards that you can mix and match with the original 4 sets of cards in the base game, as well as their corresponding diplomas you can earn, and one new thing. 3 little wooden figures called the Yokais that are going to penalize you if you keep them till the end of the game. But a lot of the really juicy cards are going to give them to you during the game. And therein lies the problem. You're going to want those cards, but you're going to want to get rid of those yokai figures. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. I'm not going to explain the original base game, though I am going to give you a quick overview of the general turns in the game, okay? I'm mostly going to focus on this, show you some of the new cards, and how the new pieces here work. So here's everything that you are going to get with the expansion. You're going to have a small rule book. You're going to have 3 new decks of cards with their associated victory point tiles. And you're going to have these 3 figures here, the yokai, with also 1 tile associated with them. To set up the game, you are going to select 2 of the old decks, which are these. These used to be the entire deck before. You always use the same 4. Well, now you're going to select 2 of these, and you are going to shuffle them into 2 of the new ones. So you will select, say, the umbrellas and the kites, shuffle all 4 of these decks together, make sure you select the corresponding groupings of tiles. So this would be in, this would be in, and then for the trees, that would be in, and this one for the characters, that would be in. The yokai will be available in every game if you're using the expansion, and this tile as well as any other setup you need to do. And then you play the game regularly, having, displaying new cards, drafting, and so on. Let me give you a real brief reminder of how that works. In a 4-player game, we would use the entire board, all the way up to 4 players. A start player would start by flipping over 4 cards. If the space is dark red, then we leave that one face down. And then they may select 1 column. They will pass. The other 3 players will also pass. So we go right on to the second reveal. And we will reveal 4 more cards, again, face down if the spot is red. And again, the start player will decide if they want any of these combinations. Let's say they pass, but the second player is interested in this combination. They will take it and deal with those cards. The other 2 players will pass, and we go on to the third reveal. And everyone now must take. So the start player will select this one here. The second player who already took is out. The third player might select these. And the fourth and final player will select these. And then whoever ended up that round with the star player token, this large wooden token here, is going to then do that same thing for the next round. Beginning up here, revealing cards, having the players take the columns and utilize them. When I say utilize them, you are going to be taking all of the cards and either painting them as part of your panorama or flipping them over and using them as part of your technique, allowing you to paint more cards, having mastery over new colors, possibly giving you new special abilities, maybe victory points, maybe giving you the start player token and a victory point, as you see here, that sort of thing. So that's the general flow of the game. As I said, you now are going to have a couple of new things in there from the 3 that the expansion features. So let's take a look at how they work and what their scoring possibilities are up here. Let's start here with the umbrellas. The umbrellas are going to feature, of course, umbrellas sometimes, and they are going to have either 1 or 2 connected umbrellas like that. And the way you score these is by having connected umbrellas show up in your panorama. So, for example, if I have painted this card here, and then later on I paint this one like so, I have 3 in a single run, so I could claim this tile here that says I need 3 connected. If 2 of them show up on 1 card, those 2 are connected. However, if I had broken this up with something else in between them, that is not a run of 3. I have closed off this run and started a new one over here. This one is for a connected run of 4. That's 7 victory points. For 3, 5 victory points, and you become the start player. And then for 2, 3 victory points, and you get to get rid of one of these yokai. So what are those yokai? Let's talk about that briefly. Some cards are going to now give you one of these yokai. As you see, it shows up right on the line. So no matter whether you paint this or use it as a technique, you are going to get one. If there are any in the supply still, you'll take one of them. If they are all out among the players, you will take one from another player. And these are going to be bad at the end of the game. If you have a single one at the end of the game, that's -1 point. If you have 2 at the end of the game, -4 points for the group. And if you have all of them, -9 points. Very bad. You definitely want to avoid them. However, if you have all 3, you could claim this tile here. And this tile is 4 victory points. But after you do so, you better make sure that you get rid of them. And this is how you do it. With that tile there, that lets you take one you have and give it to someone else right away. So that's how those work, and those are the umbrellas in the game. Next up, let's take a look at the kites over here. The kites are going to feature different kites in different colors. So you have there a yellow one. Here you can see a red kite. Here you see one of each. However, that card is also going to give you a yokai to balance that out. And then the tiles are based on those colors. So this one, if you have 3 yellow, you are going to get 3 victory points and you get another brush. 3 blue, 4 points, get rid of one of those yokai. 2 red, you'll get 5 points. Those are a little bit more rare, and you'll be start player. And then if you have 7, no matter the colors, you're going to get 6 victory points and one of the storm clouds. Very useful. So that's how all of these work in the kites section. They don't need to be connected. You just have to have collected the right colors for whatever you want to score. A little reminder, don't forget, per set in the game, you only get to claim one thing. So if I get to 3 yellow, and I don't claim it immediately because I'm holding out for possibly a total of 7, then I will not be able to claim this one at all later on. I have to make sure I only take one of these in the whole game. Finally, let's take a look at the lanterns. The lanterns are going to show you 1, 2 lanterns, or possibly 3 lanterns, like so. And these scoring tiles are based on the number of lanterns per card. So this is for 3 single cards that show a single lantern. That's 3 victory points. 2 of the double lanterns, and this is 1 of each for 6 victory points. So if I have this in my display, and I have not taken either one of these 2, I can then choose to claim that for 6 victory points. That's all there is to it. Again, you're going to see the yokai symbol show up on these cards, either because you have to take it, or because you are allowed to get rid of it. That will also show up on cards sometimes. But that's all there is to it. Pretty straightforward. Just more of what's in the core game with a few new scoring possibilities. And of course the threat, or perhaps the the allure of these yokai pieces. So let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of the expansion. Alright, so that is Yokai expansion to Kanagawa. Let's talk about this. I'm going to start with thematic ties. I'm actually not giving this a thumbs up here because I find everything in the original game is thematic. You are a painter, you are studying, you earn more paintbrushes, you earn the ability to move your brushes from one place to another to give you more flexibility as a painter. Yeah, some of those things are stretches, but not by much. And then in this, the central idea of the yokai, of these evil spirits that are going to come along and haunt you, don't make any sense. It doesn't have anything to do with the theme of the original game, except for it being from that region of the world. That's it. This should have probably been spilled paint or something. Something that actually ties to the theme. The 3 sets of cards are fine, but they're the same exact thing as in the original one. It doesn't even matter what they are. They don't have to be kites and umbrellas and lanterns. It could have been anything, right? The yokai, though, break the thematic immersion for me. Oh, you painted that? Then you get an evil spirit. What? How about you painted that? It was such a busy illustration that you broke something or you spilled paint or whatever. That makes a lot more sense to me, okay? The aesthetics are great. The cards look fantastic. They mix right into the original cards. The little wooden yokai figures are great. Nice and chunky, very tactile. So I like the production very much. And everything in this little box fits in the original core game. So that's another plus that I'm very happy with. Replayability. It's just sort of more of the same. Replayability is good because of that. Because now you will not just have the same 4 sets. You will pick different things. And the main thing is, the yokai, while I don't think they make sense thematically, they're a good mechanism. They are clever. They are going to lead to more replayability. You are going to want them in-game because of what they give you. You are going to feel the tension of not getting the cards to pass them along. So replayability gets kicked up by this, no question. Game length. It's the same as the original core game, so thumbs up. Ease of play. It's the same as the original core game, so thumbs up. And then tactics and strategy are mostly the same as in the original game. So yeah, again, a thumbs up, with the main twist being the yokai. This is the kind of expansion that I think personifies the more of the same kind of expansion. Now, I know what you're saying, but it's 3 brand new sets of cards with their own scoring mechanisms. Let's say that. That's true, but they really don't mix up the feel and the experience of the game very much. I think the yokai do, and yes, you need cards to bring them into play. I get that. So you need the cards, but the game does not feel very different except for those figures. It is very much the same experience as you are used to, with different illustrations. Oh, now I'm collecting lanterns instead of trees. That's not that different, though. And I think if you are someone who enjoys the core game, you are going to like this. If you are someone who did not or thought it was just okay, this is just more of the same. This is not going to change your mind, is my point. So my bottom line, a very small, meaningful addition to the game, but a clever and enticing one. This is going to get a 6 out of 10 from me. I do like it. I don't want to come across like I'm saying, don't get this. If you have the core game and you like it, you want a little variety, this will give you that. This will give you those yokai figures. But the 3 decks of cards, once you've played with them once or twice, you'll realize it's really just the same thing with different illustrations, you know? The combinations of things, the different things you are grabbing or choosing to pursue or not pursue really are ultimately the same thing. There are just now, you are meant to leave a few decks out of the game when you set it up. That's the only difference, really, okay? So, not bad, just not revolutionary for what the game did. And the one thing that I do think is really interesting, the yokai, it feels like a minor part of the package here. So again, 6 out of 10 from me for yokai. Thanks everybody for checking this out. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.